Dr. Momita Rai, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmaceutical Technology, JS University. The topic of today's lecture is Flow of Men and Materials in Hospital Pharmacy. This is under Part 1, Unit B module of Hospital and Clinical Pharmacy, Subject Code 2.6. In the previous class, we have discussed about what is hospital pharmacy, its function, and the different objectives of hospital pharmacy and the proper layout of a hospital pharmacy. In today's class, we will discuss about the flow chart of materials and men within the hospital, including these hospital pharmacy and the requirements and abilities for hospital pharmacist. So, first of all, we have to know or we have to discuss about the flow chart of men or flow of men or patients within the hospital. This is basically the different stages through which the patients visiting the hospital is always going on. First one is the registration. The users of the hospital pharmacy, the users within the hospital who are mostly the patients or the patient parties who are visiting the hospital, they are generally passing through these three stages. They are availing the services from the hospital pharmacy, but they are going through these three stages. First of all is the registration. What is the registration counter? Registration or reception is the preliminary entry point of a hospital. Here, after inquiry, the patients are visiting these registration counter to register themselves. Okay, so the patients may be new patient or old patient. New patients are those who are visiting that hospital for the first time. So they need to be registered for the first time in the hospital with filling up all the details. And some other patients are old patients that they are visiting the hospital for some regular checkup. They are visiting they are within a treatment procedure, and so that they are already registered in that hospital and they are visiting the hospital again for their regular checkup purpose. So both the new and old patients are firstly entering to the registration and payment counter, from where the new patients are directed to the general checkup counter and the old patients are directed to the clinical service, because the old patients are already in a treatment procedure. So for them the specific department is already designated. But in case of the new patients, most of the time it happens that the patients are not at all aware about their disease condition. Most of the patients are illiterate also. Okay, so they may not be able to express themselves properly that what type of problem he or she is exactly facing, or for that which type of care or which type of department he or she is needing. For that they are firstly referred to the general checkup counter. Then from the general checkup they will be referred to any specialized type of diagnostic procedure or the clinical services. Then the next comes the general checkup counter. Here the physiological parameters, all the physiological parameters like height, weight are noted by some junior physician, junior medical personnel or nursing staff, or it may be some pharmacist or other healthcare professionals, paramedical staffs also. After the general checkup, the new patients are referred to the clinical service. After noting the history of the case history of the patients, they can be referred to the specific clinical service. It may be orthopedic, gynecological, neurological, or any ENT, cardiovascular, any type of department they may be referred to. Then after being thoroughly examined, the patients from the clinical service are again coming to the registration section and they are visiting the pharmacy again. Okay, they are coming to the registration counter for any specific treatment for another time. If they are referred to any specific other department, they have to register one time again, or they have to pay one another time, pay for the another time. So they are coming back to the registration counter, and after all these general checkup and the clinical specialties, the all both the new and old patients are coming to the dispensary or pharmacy if the doctor is directed them to go through these medication order and then visit again for another time. So, they are coming to the dispensary or pharmacy. This is mainly ongoing for the outpatient department, and if after the clinical service the patients are referred for the hospital admission, then they will be admitted to the inpatient department. Then they will not visit the dispensary or pharmacy because the medicine will be provided by the hospital. Otherwise, the patients will go to the pharmacy and will procure the medicine and go back to their home. This is a basic procedure or the basic flow of persons who are coming to the hospital for getting the service. Next is in brief or in detailed manner with a flow chart, the full flow of patients within a hospital is illustrated. First of all is the reception or the inquiry of a hospital. Each and every hospital has a reception counter where the patients are coming or visiting for the first time. This is the entry point. Then after the reception, if they have some query, they are asking or inquiring that for any specific service or any specific consultation or doctor, then they are next visiting the registration counter, where just we have already discussed that the new patients are registering themselves for the first time and the old patients are already registered, they are providing their registration number for further treatment. Then from the registration counter, the new and old patients will be divided into two segments. The new patients will visit the general checkup. After reception registration, the new patients will visit the general checkup. From the general checkup, they may be referred to any clinical specialities. They may be referred to any clinical specialities for any specific type of diagnosis or any specific type of consultation, like it may be some orthopedic, neurological, gynecological, any specific problem. Otherwise, it may also happen that after reception registration, new patients will come to the general checkup and the problem is very minor. So, they are just prescribing, the physicians are prescribing them medicines. Then the patients are coming to the pharmacy with the prescribed medication order or the prescription, and after paying, procuring the medicine, they are going back to their home. This is the first thing. The second flow is, there is after reception registration, the new patients are coming for the general checkup, then they are referred to any clinical specialities, and from the clinical specialities the doctors are advising them to visit again for a certain period of time. After a certain period of time, till then they have to continue with the medicine which have been prescribed to them. So, after that, after this section also, they are coming to the pharmacy with the prescribed medication order and they are procuring the medicine and going back to their home. This is the second flow. Third flow is, the person or the diseased person are coming to the reception registration, the new patients are there, they are coming for general checkup, clinical specialities. From the clinical specialities, they are advised to be admitted within the hospital for any critical illness. So, after the clinical specialities, they are admitted within the hospital and going to the inpatient department. Okay. Then it may also happen that after the clinical specialities, the pharmacy shop, they are visiting the pharmacy shop, and after some first aid treatment, they are again visiting the hospital admission section. It may also be done with the general checkup also. After general checkup, they may visit to the pharmacy and will get admitted if there is any serious illness. Same is happening for the old patient department. Only thing is that they are skipping the step general checkup as they are already in a treatment procedure. So, firstly they are coming to the reception registration, then directly to the clinical specialities. Then it will be the same thing. They may be referred to continue with the medicine, so they will go to the pharmacy and then pay and procure the medicine and go back to their home. Otherwise, they may be admitted in the inpatient department for any serious illness if the doctors suggested them. Otherwise, they will visit the pharmacy, then will admitted within the hospital after any preliminary first aid treatment. Okay. So this is the total flow of patients. Only one difference between these new patient and old patient is this general checkup. The new patients have to follow with these general checkup stage. They have to go through with this step first of all. But in case of the old patients, as they are already in a treatment procedure, they are directly visiting the clinical specialties. So this is the total flow of patients within a hospital. Next is the flow of material. That was the flow of patients, and this is the flow of materials. This is totally based on the hospital pharmacy. As the pharmacy is receiving the medicines and other pharmaceutical preparations from any other vendor or any other supplier, after that they are dispensing those items. So there is a continuous flow of materials within the pharmacy. First of all, from the medical store or any medicine manufacturer or supplier, the pharmacy is receiving the medicines and the pharmaceutical preparations. First, the pharmacy will forecast the demand, that what type of medicine is needed within the hospital, what type of medicine is widely used, and what type of medicines are in scarcity. So these requisition will be given to the medical store or the medicine supplier, and as per that they will receive the medicine. Okay, and these requisition will be as per the inpatient department and outpatient department. As the pharmacy is delivering medicine to the inpatient department and outpatient department, so after receiving the requisition or the indent, the requisition is called the indent. These indent is receiving from inpatient department or from the outpatient department. On the basis of those indent, they are receiving some order to the medical store and the manufacturer or supplier, then again receiving the medicines and the pharmaceutical products, then again dispensing those items to the inpatient department and outpatient department. So this is a continuous process. First of all, the pharmacy is receiving the requisition or indent from the inpatient and outpatient. As per that, the pharmacy is dispensing the medicine to the departments. They are receiving the indent, they are dispensing the medicine to the inpatient. Same is for the outpatient, receiving the requisition, dispensing the item. Now, to maintain the inventory control or stock within the pharmacy, they need to place some order to the medical stores or to the manufacturer or supplier. Then after the order, they will receive the medicine from them, and so they will maintain the stock and they will continuously dispense the medicine to the inpatient and outpatient. This continuous flow of material is needed in a hospital within a pharmacy to maintain the continuous availability of the medicine, continuous drug distribution to the different departments in a hospital. Now it comes the requirements of the hospital pharmacist. In the hospital pharmacy, the most important role is played by the hospital pharmacist. So what is the basic requirement? There is no standard rule regarding the requirement of personnel. The number of pharmacists in a hospital are calculated on the base of the workload within the hospital and the number of beds available. As much as the number of bed is increased, the number or requirement of the pharmacist will also get increased. Like in our previous lectures, we have discussed about the classification of the hospitals as per the basis of the capacity or intake of a hospital. So that there it was mentioned that the teaching cum research hospital consists of the most number of beds, which is 500. Then the district hospital with 200 bed, then the taluka with 50, and the primary health center with 6 bedded. So as per the bed number, the pharmacy requirement will vary. For a small hospital, minimum 3 pharmacists are required, which will increase along with the bed size increasing, and they should possess the adequate pharmacy qualification and experience. And if the manufacturing of drug is involved within a hospital pharmacy, then adequate number of technician assistant will be required. This is the basic requirement of a hospital pharmacist. Now what are the abilities of the hospital pharmacist? Like from a hospital pharmacist, what skill should be needed? First of all is the technical ability. The hospital pharmacist must be technically aware or technically sound to compete with these all type of situations and all the technical problems they can deal with. Then next is the ability to develop a manufacturing section within a hospital. If the large volume of parenteral products or any drug is should be manufactured within the hospital, they need the ability to develop those manufacturing section. It may be aseptic area or other normal sections. Then the administrative ability to have the administration and administrative control over the total hospital pharmacy regarding maintaining all the inventory, stock, purchasing, quality control, all those things. Second is the ability to control the inventory, to maintain the proper stock, proper storage condition. Okay, then proper forecasting the demand at right time and make the medicines available all the time within the hospital. Then to conduct and participate in research, they must be updated in the with the latest knowledge, so that they must conduct and participate in research. There is an also role to conduct teaching program to make aware the other healthcare professionals as well as the common people regarding the new disease or newer medicines, or which medicines have been banned, or any side effects, adverse effect, drug interaction, contraindications of the medicines, newer diagnostic procedure. They should have the updated knowledge and should also spread this knowledge to the other healthcare professionals and the common peoples. Okay. So this is all about today's lecture, which is focus the total flow of men and flow of materials within the hospital pharmacy, which is the most important thing to run a hospital pharmacy properly within a hospital, and what are the abilities or requirement of a hospital pharmacist, which is the main administrative control body within a hospital pharmacy, and under whom supervision under whom supervision the all the procedures are being carried out. Okay, so now there is the question answer session. First question is, write the flow of men in a hospital. Second is, write the flow of patients in hospital involving hospital pharmacy. Third is, write the flow of materials in hospital pharmacy. Fourth one is the write about the requirements of hospital pharmacist. And the last question is, what should be the abilities of hospital pharmacist. So this is all about today's lecture. Read this out, read these total points very thoroughly, like the flow of men in a hospital, flow of patients in a hospital, flow of materials, then requirement and abilities of the hospital pharmacist. This will help you to correlate with your next class, where the pharmacist requirement, floor space requirement, other equipment requirement to develop a hospital pharmacy will be discussed. So till now, read this out thoroughly, and if there is any question, any doubt, then please ask me in the next class. So till then, thank you so much. Thank you for listening.